So, hi, this is Tom Hart from the Sequential Artist Workshop, and I'm here with Justine Mara Anderson. Hi, Justine.
Hey, Tom.
Um, and in
She
pre-
who must be obeyed, even
correct.
though Tom's the founder.
in in preparation of Justine's inking masterclass, we wanted to just look at some images that we were digging around on the web. These are all from Heritage Auctions, which has extremely high resolution images, and they're really worth investigating. And so we found some of Justine and my favorite inkers, and we're just going to talk about some of these images. Most of
Well, I
these
just
are
want to
ones.
say, as far as Knox Raymond goes, he was immensely influential. When you look at this stuff, you can immediately see Al Williamson, you can see Jeff Jones, you can see Jose Gonzalez. You can already see everybody looking
Mm-hmm.
at this. But also, when I look at this, I'm not just seeing who Alex Raymond influenced. I'm seeing who was influenced by Alex Raymond. I mean, who Alex Raymond was influenced by. I mean, there's sort of a Gibson girl quality
Mm-hmm.
right here, right? Those Gibson girls were great. You can see some of that coming through right here, even. But
Mm-hmm.
you were interested in the water, so what?
Oh,
I'll talk about it, but go
this is
ahead.
probably the loosest and most expressionistic one we'll see in the whole batch.
Probably the water's great. You still, still we have the even loose or not, he still had mastered getting lines in rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look how the lines come out of the black. I mean, that's really brilliant. And look at all
Mm.
the different qualities of line. You've got this going on here, this going on here, and then these little dashes. So let's just, because we've got so many to look at,
Oh,
we can't be here for an
yeah,
hour because
yeah, yeah.
I have an appointment. But I talk a lot about texture in my class. Because inking defines a lot of different things. And
Look at these
look at the
hairy
difference between
guys.
the hairy
Yeah.
guy. This is important. Textures have to read as what they are out of context. This is super important, okay? So notice that the hairy guy, the hair is not the same texture as this
Mm-hmm.
hair, which is not the same texture as the fur.
Mm-hmm.
And notice that the hair doesn't look at all like the wrinkles on her fabric. All of that has to be different. Nor this down here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, before we go to the next image,
Oh, these
this
guys are
caught my
great.
eye.
Oh,
These
yeah.
lines are terrific. I talk a lot about line quality. I love these fluid lines. Look how they flow. Look how
Now
masterfully
that's
put together they are.
that's some like air vents from the ground, and behind that a
Yeah.
cave or something. Oh, wow,
So will this let us
beautiful.
go to the next image or not?
Sure, that's fine. One thing I've always noticed, and I'm not a great inker, I do like to look at it though, is that Alex Raymond, more than anybody else, maybe Al Williamson a little bit, always was working with parallel brushstrokes almost on most of his on most of the things he was rendering. Right, this bottom is a great example, but even
Right,
up above, you
right.
can see it on the cape, and you can see it on.
Notice how they go from light to heavy and how they get closer together. My fingers, like people can see that. I'm over here pointing with my fingers. Anyway, but yeah, that down here, they're airy and light in between, and then as they get denser, they get thicker, which creates the black. So it's a really nice gradation. You'll also
Mm-hmm.
notice this angular hatching. The
Mm.
hatching is not at 90-degree angles. And there are a lot of parallel lines here, and groupings of lines. Lines in rhythm, lines in rhythm, lines in rhythm at the same time. Oh, Bernie Wrightson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my encounters with Bernie Wrightson personally were not tremendous, but the work really influenced me when I was young. Uh,
Again, we're seeing lots of lines in rhythm, obviously.
yeah, and you're seeing all the greats as his influences here. You're seeing Doré, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the great early 20th century, what we call children's book illustrations. You're also seeing an immense amount of N.C. Wyeth in the composition. It almost looks like he's trying to render an N.C. Wyeth in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
But lots of lines in rhythm. Lots of lines in rhythm. Shadows, lots of negative space. Look at this dense black back here, pops behind the figure,
Framing the
and
figure,
then the
yeah.
gray back here, and then it goes black again. So
Mm-hmm.
you've got like white, gray, black, gray, black, gray. So he's really playing with his layers.
That's your depth and details class right
Yeah,
there.
I'm giving away all my secrets.
Classic. This is
Yeah,
classic
who
William.
penciled and who inked it?
Well, this is classic Williamson inking without this lack of a contour around something like that, and you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
it
yeah.
here, you see it up here.
Again, look
But it
how
all,
different the water is.
yeah. It's so beautiful. It's got a
Yeah,
little bit of
fantastic.
both of what we've seen. It's got a little bit of the Alex Raymond that we saw here, and a little bit of that splotchy sort of shimmering thing that they were going for with was it the Conan just prior?
Yeah, yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, also look at that. See, this is the kind of thing that baffles me. Is God, the fineness of the line here. I mean, I seem to lack the courage to do that, but it still varies. Look at how that, like, it goes almost to white at the bone of the wrist.
Can we zoom in even more?
Really nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I was. I want to get my lines. I tend to go a little too bold.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a good lesson in maybe not going that bold all the time. Look how much is open under the nose, at the tip of the nose. Just that line. There's a lot of gestalt here, where your brain is filling in what is not there. This is Wally Wood. God, look how loose all this is. Wally can be really, really tight at times, and then he can be really loose other times too. Always beautiful, though. Ooh. Hal Foster. Okay, so here's what blows me away about Hal Foster is he would so often really use such limited line weight. I mean, if you look at most of these lines are very similar in weight, right? A little heavier here. His line weights are so much more subtle than what most of us do. And it completely reads. Okay, here's some heavier lines. You know, but he, again, like Al Williamson, unlike Wally Wood and Walt Kelly, who use wild varieties of line weight, Hal Foster and Al Williamson would use line weight variations, but not quite as heavily. Like, I would have gone way too heavy under here, you know.
But he makes really interesting choices for where to put his blacks.
Look at the great pattern on the wall. Oh yeah, the blacks throughout. Look how back here, in the background, it's not even a pure black.
Look at that person. Oh my God.
Because you want it to recede. You know? Oh yeah, he's great with spotting the black.
Yeah, even look at that black knife there. Why is that knife black? Well, it's to help point you to Prince Valiant, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Unless there were knives made out of obsidian or something at the time.
This also helps point us to Prince Valiant. This does as well. You know, he's kind of in this. He's emerging from this black here a little. You know, right off of this white. So you've got the white, the black, and Prince Valiant right in the middle of all that. Nicely laid out. More Hal Foster. This is just beautiful. Oh, I wanted to look at this one. The silhouettes are lovely.
Those white outlines, are they left behind, or is he going in afterwards and here?
Most of that's left behind. I don't see wash on top of it. Look at these heads.
Oh, wow.
Look how loose and weedy this is.
That's very Jones-like, isn't it?
Yeah, look at this. The bravery of just making that mark.
And doing it twice for the reflection.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
Oh, I love how precise and tight it is. Like here and up here.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
And then
moon.
How incredibly lively it is. This is what I'm struggling with currently, I'm trying to work up the courage to get this loose more often.
That's great.
Look at this reflection even.
Oh.
Walt Kelly pogos. This is a totally different kind of thing now. And there were really two Walt Kellys. There was the really detailed Walt Kelly, like on this image. Walt Kelly's tree. Look at the lines.
Oh,
look at the lines.
That is the thickest line we've seen, I think, out of all of these.
And everything we've seen is the thickest line. This is where I get confused, because I was just talking about I wanted to have the courage of Al Williamson to lighten up my lines, and now I'm thinking I want to go bolder. So this is the dilemma we face when we have great influences. Is, do I want to go lighter and more refined like Al Williamson, or do I want to go bold and cartoony like Walt Kelly? I don't have the answer to that. I tend to kind of try to find myself in the middle.
Oh, wow, look at all of those turtle heads.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Great. Walt Kelly's trees are fabulous. Do you want to learn how to paint cartooning? Look at Walt Kelly, and only Walt Kelly. Then look at other stuff.
I believe that.